Good morning, everyone. This is Arcturian Philosophy, and today we're going to do vegan cooking, raw vegan fudge. Yes, raw vegan fudge. And it's very, very easy, and all you need is a blender or a food processor, or you can substitute almond butter or cashew butter for this instead. I like to be really exotic and unique in things that I make, so I'm going to have an interesting kind of version of this today. So, let me show you what I've got. So, these are raw organic Brazil nuts and some hazelnuts. You have about half a cup or 3/4 of a cup of those. Then, after that, you have about half a cup of organic raw cocoa powder, or cacao, what I have here. I also threw in, where'd it go? I also threw in some white, cocoa butter, some raw cocoa butter as well. Now what goes in also is coconut oil. Coconut oil is awesome, and so is Dr. Bronner's. And also next, I think I'm going to throw in some goji berries, too, just for the heck of it, and see what we end up with. Now, also, I've got some cinnamon, cayenne pepper, and I'm going to put some sacred frankincense oil in this as well here. Young Living brand sacred frankincense oil, which is edible. Even though their founders kind of sold out to the devil, yes, their oils are the best currently, I think. And then we have cacao nibs and Himalayan pink salt for garnish. Or also rosemary is another one you can use too. Mint flakes, whatever you want to do. What's fun is with vegan, see, we just use whatever you got, whatever you have, it'll work. So we have our blender, and we're going to put our dry ingredients first. Our cocoa butter in there, everything in there, and then what mixes everything up into a butter is adding the coconut oil. So I gotta open our coconut oil here, and we add about, where our measuring cup go? It should be about 1/4 of a cup, or 1/3 of a cup. Oh, solidified on me. It had been sitting out and gotten so liquefied-y. Should have about maybe 1/3 a cup. It also depends on how it's getting blended up. About, 1/3, 1/4 cup, 1/3 cup. And then that's where you can choose your sweetener. Most recipes use maple syrup, and I prefer to use maple syrup and agave. So you can split that as, say, like a 1/4 cup of each. Just look at the consistency of what you're blending, and with the sweeteners, I just kind of guess. But I would say with maples, so we've got our blender here with maple syrup. Add our maple syrup in there. Yay, maple syrup. And then add our blue agave. Yay, blue agave. And we're going to get also vanilla extract. About 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. You can also put in liqueurs. I'm not really doing that right now because of, everyone trying to kill me, but, if you can relax and such, you can put in brandies or nice liqueurs, all kinds of things, or whatever, whatever you want to try and do. It's very versatile. I noticed that basically you're just using some sort of nut butter. Also, I've seen some recipes that use coconut milk, and that I've tried, and that is very delicious. Now we're gonna blend it up. Found that this just takes time. If you don't have a very good food processor to do with this, you just have to be patient and just kind of sit there and let the stuff kind of blend up and mash itself up. Because it eventually will. It just takes enough. It takes enough time and effort. Also, while you're doing this, you can chant, or you can hum a particular note, such as C sharp, or I love my little shaker. You can shake, shaking while we cook. Okay, looks like if it doesn't blend up, it means that you need more of one of the oils. So in this case, we get more coconut oil in here. Or more of the sweeteners alternatively too. Alright, I paused that. We're a little bit further along here. I want you to take a look. We have things blended up, not completely right here. So I'm going to blend it a little bit more. But you have to stir it periodically when you're just working with a blender like this. Get it and stir it periodically so that I'm trying to stand the light here. There we go. Stir it periodically so that you get everything up from the bottom. If you don't have a food processor like me here and are relying on secondhand stuff, but most of us are, so that's okay. So.
up as you can, basically. I like to leave a little bit unblended, and also it's really hard to get it really blended up, but unless you have a nice food processor. I don't have a juicer, which kind of sucks for me right now with having no budget. So the best I have is a blender to work with, but you can still do it.
And you can make yourself vegan dessert, which is really healthy for you at the same time. I'm going to break up the cocoa butter in there. Come on, cocoa butter, break up. It's like the nuts. Well, the nuts are breaking up, not the cocoa butter. What? And also, first time adding goji berries. That's kind of seems fun. Okay, it has a berry flavor for the first time. That seems good. Needs more berries. You also can just sort of do this by taste, too, and stir in what you've added. Also, at first I used almonds, and almonds are really good. With this, I just don't have any almonds. I had Brazil nuts and hazelnuts. So you can you use what you have. That's the other trick to survival. Juice purees, like acai berry puree is really good in something like this. You can add a few teaspoons of it, but not too much or it will get really runny. Now, eventually, when we get this how we want it, some of you might want to have it really smooth and mix nuts into it. Some of you might want to add coconut to it, however you want to do it. And then we're going to put this into any kind of 9x9 pan or pie plate and in the freezer. Okay, now there, it's quite a bit more stirred up. You can see the consistency here. Okay, I think I might actually... a little bit thicker. It's kind of tricky getting a balance between how thick to get it. Melt the cocoa butter, which I think would be smarter. Melt your coconut oil, melt your cocoa butter. When you put cocoa butter in there. You know, when you're doing vegan and raw, and you're a little new with it, things might seem hard at first, but it's not really very hard. Use a little bit more agave instead. And so I'm basically making a marbled kind of fudge here. Now I'm going to put this in a pie plate. Yeah, I'm going to use a pie plate and let me pour this. I'll show you guys here. Pour this into a pie plate. Now, most people have figured out, okay, I should be eating organic food. I should be eating, maybe, if you can, raw food. That's kind of a hard one, but it's understandable. It's difficult for people to accomplish that one. And we have where's our sacred frankincense oil. Our sacred frankincense oil. We're going to put some drops of frankincense oil on top of this. And trying to mix this up. And we're going to get this in the freezer is how we're going to get this to set. So I'm going to try and get it as mixed up as possible. And also don't worry if you think you might have put too much of one thing or too little of another thing. You really can't mess it up. Anything that's done that is from the heart and that is something that you love and cherish, and that is not going along with the program, is beautiful. So don't let anyone tell you that you can't cook, because you can figure out how to cook. So now, what I like to do, we have this in our pie plate. So we have everything laid out in there. So, what you just blended up, I like to put sea salt, or actually not sea salt, this is pink Himalayan salt, on top of it before I let it set, just because that gives it an interesting flavor on the top. A little bit of salt. And then I'm going to put this in the freezer. And we'll be back when the fudge has set. Alright, I figured while we're waiting for that to set, I would go ahead and talk about the Ascension Diet. Now, that is something that companies have a monopoly over. And speaking of that, oh, I'm going to take my fish oil. See, my fish oil inside joke. Whatever. Fine, weirdo people. Like, okay, so what happens is this delivery guy, like, invites me to Mount Diablo, and then gives me this fish oil and says, take it. Like, insists to take it. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Oh, and by the way, what I'm wearing, this is blue tansy oil. This is not eyeshadow, this is blue tansy. So I like essential oils.
But whatever the hell is in this stuff, it's there is something strange afoot, Watson. But I know that whatever, is going on, something says, it's okay to take the fish oil, so whatever, I'll take the fish oil. We follow our intuition on this stuff. And this, as we can see, is going to be the last of my reverse osmosis water. Now, I know artesian water is the best water to drink, but I can't afford to buy it, so I used to rely on my family with the reverse osmosis water. They had a fish tank, and realized that, oh, well, because the fish will die if we don't have pure water for them. Why are we drinking crap water? So they figured out that it was a good thing to do, even though they are trying to kill me. So I won't be able to rely on them. So if anyone wants to help me out with water to drink, coolness, yeah. No, I don't know with as far as getting hit with the fish oil. The guy asked me, "Do you notice anything from the fish oil?" And I said no. So what I've noticed, some things that you get suggested, because indigos, because they know that we are so resistant, they say do something, we just won't do anything that they say. So they'll say good things to do because they know that we won't do anything that they say just because they said it. So they might say, go eat acai berries, which is a good thing to do, and you won't do it because they said it, something like that. So some things, will be good things to do. Now, one thing that was going on is this particular, I guess the coffee version, whatever I'm trying to say, flavor. The exclusive, you can see it's in Reptilian Green right here we have our pyramid on the front and everything. But unfortunately it is the, kind of best product I think right now, as far as that goes. And I'm going to make myself some of it while we're waiting for our fudge. Now this, funny story about this stuff, this particular product was supposed to be an exclusive, the Marley coffee flavor. And you see with the Marley coffee flavor, I looked at what's the difference. The only difference is in the vitamin code. If any of you guys that take this stuff, know about their vitamin code thing. And Cryon in book 1 talks about the key, code, and lock thing with illnesses. And that was why all I had was book 1 and book 12, because those were the only ones that I needed. Now, what's so funny is that at first, when I tried to drink this stuff, something to do with, I'm not sure how this works or why I was different, but apparently most light workers, when we were consuming these products and we didn't know that we were getting screwed over. So we had this with this stuff, right? And so, we would have our Garden of Life stuff and all of that going on, and our tinctures and our Young Living and everything. And we didn't know that everything was going dark. Or that the very brands we were using, everything was being supported by the corporations. Also, the Marley coffee flavor, really good with chocolate hazelnut milk. But usually I use hemp milk. So, this time, no chocolate hazelnut milk, just because it's there. And now, stirring up your any of your food with metal is actually not very good because of the energy that it can conduct. So it's better to do so with something that's wooden or ceramic or glass for energetic reasons. the more quantum that we become, the more conscious that we should become of this. And I tend to get lazy with this, with doing it with the Garden of Life products. I'll for people who might be really hardcore with the meals, I've tried to eat those, and God, they're hard to eat. But what you can do is just take a little bit of it at a time and mix it up with a whole bunch of some sort of juice or some sort of milk. Don't use water, because I've noticed that they need something else to cover the taste. And also, I've added agave or maple syrup to it, too, and that helps it as well. And then, before you know it, you're eating, like, the whole thing. So, there we go. I have a very slow kind of process for doing this. I'm very careful. I don't eat very much, but when I do eat, I'm very meticulous about doing it carefully. Now, for most people, this is going to be kind of hard to do. So when you get one of those Garden of Life, it's Garden of Life, the raw protein, is the easiest one to drink. And I started off with the chai vanilla flavor, and I mixed it with vanilla, sweetened vanilla hemp milk. The chai vanilla flavor with sweetened vanilla hemp milk. That's what I did at first. Or you could use like chocolate hazelnut, which is like really awesome tasting. Everybody loves chocolate hazelnut milk. And at first, it would make me want to puke. So just use a little bit of it and fill up a whole drink and make it like a smoothie. Just use a little tiny bit of it, and then slowly work it up, and then you can tolerate the whole thing. So you're doing it like this with chocolate hazelnut makes it like mocha. Makes it like mocha. Alright, and we're back. Also, I have vitamins, so calcium, good one for all the women out there. Lots of us are women. So, women, Brazilian live calcium. I've noticed that this one, I think actually is probably better than Okinawan pearl calcium. Also, I noticed that whatever they've got here, the raw calcium from the Garden of Life people, again, is pretty good. And their B complex, D3, a general, some sort of organ cleanse. This is from their raw cleanse packet. Or a general kind of cleanse from the store, something generic. Whatever you can get, all that stuff is going to help. Now, like during times like these, we have to keep our bodies up to par. Think of your body. Your body is the avatar, like in the movie Avatar. It needs to be able to function, to perform its work. I was working with this one girl who had been born psychic, and she hated it. She hated that she'd been born super psychic, and she could see all kinds of things all over the place. And she needed to take vitamins for her liver. And I kept telling her, look, I know it's a pain in the ass, but you have to do it. If you want to live, you have to do it. And finally, she started doing it, because she realized, hey, if I do it, I'll live. So we'll get these things away. Also, Lyme disease, speaking of different herbals, guy by the name of Byron White makes some great stuff. Unfortunately, I can't take these. These are 100 bottles, $100 a bottle. These tinctures, the AL complex, which means just all-inclusive Lyme disease complex. People have kind of hexed the things and stuff, so it's kind of difficult to
take them, like poisoning the water and shit, so, whatever. And I guess I'll notice if something's in the fish oil, who knows, I don't know. I've noticed that through part of this, what Cryon has had me do is actually he will tell me, yes, this is poisoned. I want you to drink 5 sips of it. Or tell me something specific like that. And I'll say, okay, and he'll sort of tell me in a feeling way, like this is to introduce your body to it like a vaccine, somehow. Like the concept of, this is to vaccinate you, somehow, against this. I take, yep, all of these vitamins every day. And if I had a juicer, I would be in like a paradise, I think, but I don't. So if you don't have a juicer, if you have the money to buy the juice smoothies, that's the other vegan's best friend for those sorts of things, and light worker best friend, things that are easy to make or eat. Also rice and sushi stuff. And sauteing anything, but also for raw cooks, sauteing anything and doing it at low temperature. I'm